Like,
but then you know what? The far right also believes in not condemning white supremacy, apparently, as we've seen with the last debate. They also believe in telling the proud white to stand back and stand by. So
wait, calm down, guys. Like,
My name is Conan Erikson. I'm 16 years old, and my political party, I am more of a right-leaning independent.
I'm 17. I consider myself as a leftist.
I don't specifically align with the party, but ideologically, I am a Christian. I am an American nationalist.
I don't align with any specific political party, but I guess I'll consider myself a leftist.
I'm 14, and I identify as a moderate Democrat.
And I got a 30 on the test.
I received a 73 out of 100.
Received a 45.
Received a 71.
I received a 31.
I believe activism is important because I believe activism is how we can preserve the core founding values of this country. It's how we can protect God in this country. It's how we can protect American values and how we can protect traditionalism in America.
We are in the year 2020. We are in the midst of a pandemic. Activism is more important than ever, especially us as young people, since we are the ones who are going to be leading the future. And in all, it's very important to vocalize our opinions and stand up for what is right and what is not.
Pro-choice.
Oh my gosh, pro-choice.
Pro-life.
Pro-choice.
Pro-choice.
I do not believe in climate change. I do not believe in man-made climate change.
Not really.
Not in America, at least.
I'm a huge believer in that in-person voting this year is perfectly fine as long as we're social distancing. Well, I see the left, they're probably going to rig this election more than the right, but I think there will be voter fraud on both sides.
There are several, I think that this whole theory that, mail-in ballots are going to lead to fraud, I think it's just a way for Trump to justify in the event that he loses the election, because all the polls show that Biden is leading in it. And I think Trump is scared, and that is why he is emphasizing the fraud of mail-in voting and, taking all these efforts to suppress it.
So the opinions of a couple people don't negate the fact that cultural appropriation exists, and it is wrong. An example is the International Indigenous Youth Council. The girl who started the petition to change West High's mascot recently is Indigenous. They have been bringing up this issue largely recently because they've brought it up so much in the past, but West High has refused to change it. I don't think it's our place to say anything if we're not part of the culture.
The idea that, since we're not native, we can't have an opinion. So what are we doing here? Like, why are you saying anything? Like, we have to have opinions on topics because the whole point of this country is free speech. We have to debate and we have to have these topics. So the idea that we can't have a say in an issue means neither of us should be talking about this right now if your point holds true. I always wanted Trump to nominate Amy Coney Barrett. I always liked her more than Kavanaugh, and the more and more I see of her on TV, I like her more and more. She wants to overturn Roe v. Wade. Based and red-pilled. That'd be cool. So that's pretty much my opinion on Amy Coney Barrett. I like her more and more, and I really hope she gets nominated, actually. She's my original pick.
And she is a part of an organization called People of Praise, where one of their main ideas is women submitting to their husbands, which I think is so inappropriate, especially her in place of RBG, who was a feminist and someone who strongly believed that women did not need to submit to men. I find it strange that at her hearings, when asked to name all the amendments, she couldn't name any of them. And that's actually something required to acquire citizenship in America.
All of her judicial rulings in the past, it's been very, against Roe versus Wade and abortion. And the fact of the matter is that abortion isn't going away no matter what. We can ban it all we want. What's going to go away is safe and legal abortion. And if we were to nominate Amy Coney Barrett, that is an extreme threat to women's health and women's rights.
Last time I checked, I don't think you have 2 strands of DNA, 20 toes, 20 fingers. I don't think you have 2 heads. Like, it is very obviously 2 different bodies. It's not the woman's body. Is being against the murder of 60 million babies since 1973 pro-human rights enough for you?
And Dylan, as you said earlier when you were introducing yourself, you are a Christian. Several times it's mentioned throughout the Bible that life begins at its first breath. It's demonstrated in Genesis 2:7, when God breathed into his nostrils the first breath of life and man became a living soul. And Dylan also brought up a statistic that women who take abortions get anxiety, they get depressed and all these negative emotions. But, did you know women also feel all those things and more when they take birth control and contraceptives? They feel that as well.
At the beginning of all this, I said that I was an independent, right? And abortion, that's one of the topics of politics I care the least about. But I'll tell you this, I think the most common argument I hear, it's just a clump of cells, but what are you? Like, come on. And pro-lifers are saying it's murder. It is, but by law it isn't. It's also already legal. I'm not for making something already legal illegal. And I also like that it's population control, to be honest with you guys, because the current rate in the USA is 426 abortions per 1,000 live births. It may be falling, but it's still a lot less kids than there would be. Number 5, this is probably why I lean more pro-choice than anything. How will the alternatives be funded? Taxes and government, which it probably will be. I don't know much about foster care, but if it means more taxes to fund it, I'm not going to be for it. And Dylan, I'm really sorry, but the option just has to be there no matter what. I think it should.
Also, making abortion illegal doesn't make it stop. Just the way that any law doesn't restrict everything, like any illegal activity from happening.
And I get that you're pro-life, but I simply also cannot accept that you are pro-life if you support a man who puts children into cages. That is not pro-life.
Are you talking about Obama? Because Obama was the one who started that.
But Trump was the one who enforced it, okay?
Obama was the one who started that, and Trump.
You might be consenting to the activity, but you're not consenting to the outcome.
So are you saying people should not have to bear the consequences of their actions? Because that's what it sounds like to me. Sex, there's really only one goal to having sex. If you get pregnant, you should very much expect that.
Because I know that you got that from the Bible, as for most of your arguments today. But the Bible is man-written.
USA Today, livescience.org, liveaction.org. Yeah, all great books in the Bible. I think I'll read them after today. Rosie, do you know how many unarmed blacks were killed by police officers in 2019? Can you name me a number? 100. It is 9. It is 9 unarmed blacks across 365 days across a country of 300 million people.
No, hold on, because I knew you were going to bring that point up, because every time I argue with a closed-minded Republican who backs the blue, they bring up, do you know how many black people killed white people this year, or whatever that is?
I am right by you when it comes to condemning those cases, but the idea that there is a systematic oppression of black people amongst the police force simply is not true. If you look at the numbers, found that white police officers are actually less likely to black police officers. So it's not a race issue.
Because you are an Asian boy. You don't know what black boys face every single day. You can't talk for them. Statistics and facts and science cannot talk for the feelings that someone feels every single day, and prejudice.
It is irrelevant how you feel if the facts state the contrary. Okay, how about this? I feel like a black person today, therefore I can voice my opinion.
And I didn't statistically search it up. I didn't test them to see if they were white supremacists. I felt them. I heard them call me. It wasn't facts. It was actual actions that happened.
And if you unfriend somebody because of a different political view, then you're not educated enough to talk about politics.
I don't think I'd be friends with someone who had a very different opinion than me on basic human rights, but something like something more political, less human life based, where you have to just have a basic caring heart. I think I could be friends with them if it wasn't.
I cannot be friends with someone who endorses or supports someone who is actually racist, or just hates on women or discriminates against marginalized communities or minorities. I can't be friends with you if you can't respect other